A 9/11 first responder receiving unexpected news during a trip to San Diego.
It was completely surprising. I never smoked.
He was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. Coming up, why he believes it's linked to his time at Ground Zero.
And a New York grand jury considering whether or not to indict former President Donald Trump. The escalating threats that are coming into the office that's heading this investigation.
ABC 10 News at 5 starts now.
My world pretty much stopped right there.
A man visiting family in San Diego receiving a sobering diagnosis.
As ABC 10 News reporter Michael Chen found out, that man believes the diagnosis is linked to his time as a responder after the 9/11 terror attacks.
Just before Halloween, Brian Smith, who was suffering from a dry cough, flew from Ohio to San Diego to visit his brothers. 2 weeks later,
Lethargy, dramatic weight loss.
after a trip to the ER and a battery of tests,
I was terrified.
a shocking diagnosis, stage 4 lung cancer, which had spread to his lymph nodes and liver.
It was completely surprising. I never smoked.
The diagnosis was a surprise, but a possible factor could be traced to an event more than 2 decades ago, the 9/11 terror attacks. Smith, an officer with the Federal Protective Service, which protects federal buildings, was part of a contingent sent from D.C. to New York, where he patrolled an area 10 blocks from Ground Zero.
Your uniforms could be covered in ashy soot, a short amount of time after your shift had just begun.
For 3 months, he worked without PPE before leaving and volunteering to work for another month.
Do you believe that your diagnosis is linked to your time near Ground Zero?
There's a strong link.
In the years since the terror attacks, more than 2,000 responders and Ground Zero workers have died from illnesses attributed to their service. Studies have shown higher rates of some cancers among responders. Smith, who is undergoing oral chemotherapy, says his prognosis is unclear.
I think we're seeing that the scope of this tragedy from 9/11 is long range and continues.
Michael Chen, ABC 10 News.
Smith plans to be in San Diego for at least several more months undergoing treatment. Last week, he was evaluated by a local doctor, the first step in determining if his diagnosis will be linked to the 9/11 attacks, qualifying him for medical benefits.